Good morning. Switching gears here a little bit from my traditional, very cue-based and chiropractic safe poses. I'm going to post a little bit of a personal practice, and the theme for this practice is breaking a plateau. We are cyclic beings. We are going to go through stages and cycles of high energy, low energy, feeling successful, feeling stagnant. And so for the plateau for me is just, I have been on this track and I've maybe fallen out of my normal routine. And so, you can add stagnation into the plateau, just basically something that needs to shake up the system, shake up the digestive tract, shake up the hormonal cycles. And so this is going to be a pretty powerful medium to advanced 30-45 minute practice. We'll see how crazy I get. And it's not going to be pretty, it's not going to be polished. It will be my personal practice, but I will guide you along the way. Even if you consider yourself an advanced practitioner, I prefer you have blocks and props. Just in poses, I may talk to something a little bit differently than what you'd previously do. And it's really beneficial to have those to give you full access to muscle activation, breath, cyclic cylinder, air, and a pressure system. So have your props ready for you. Maybe have a glass of water. Feel free to pause or click and take a break, whatever you need to, and just honor your body. And what that means is there's a difference between discomfort and growth and pain. So you know your limitations, and I hope this helps you shake up the system and break your plateau with me. Starting in a traditional sense of a power class, I don't want to get too comfy, but I do need to start, set an intention. I want to know the space that I'm taking up on my mat, how I'm showing up on the mat today. I have this excess energy that I know needs to be exerted through exercise and heavy breath. As I'm scanning the body from head to toe, I'm consciously aware of areas that feel ready to go and areas that feel as if they're resisting. They're pulling behind a little bit, almost like dragging their heels towards this practice and this growth. I'm not judging those areas, I'm just being aware of them. I'm inviting my body to be fully present in this moment, making a little bit of a centralizing mudra here. I'm going to bring my thumbs to the sternum, visualizing my favorite chakra center as maybe a glowing flower, unpedaling, opening, preparing to receive and exert during practice. Make sure you're able to swallow as we begin. Inhale, both hands overhead. Exhale, bow and surrender to class, touching the mat. Slowly rolling up. Arch the chest, flare the chest, open the hands behind you, looking up towards the ceiling. Cat-cow movements, leave your arms where they are. Exhale, curl the tailbone around the chin. Inhale, turn the palm face backwards, thumb down, open the chest. Exhale, palm face forward, tuck. 2 more of these. Exhale. Close your hands as if you're pushing against water all the way around to the front, finding this ball of energy, pulling it into your core as you come up to kneeling. Exhale. Release any excess. Bring the hands around to the sacrum, opening the chest, big breath in. Exhale, baby back bend, not going into camel. Inhale, come up using the tops of the feet for support. Exhale, push. Tuck the toes underneath, interlace the palms, press the heels of the palms together, straighten the arms, retract the neck, look up. Exhale, back to neutral. Inhale, retract the neck, look up. Exhale, come back to neutral. Bending through the knees, sit back deeply on the hips, lift the hands overhead. I'm going to put a little pressure on my spine. Breathing into the underarms and the lats. Pedaling through the feet. Finding a fine balance between upper body control and lower body flexibility. Sitting all the way back, release the arms, unbind, unwind, shake out the excess. Shooting the hands forward, fingertips facing forward, knees hip width distance, a little bit more so actually. Toes will come to touch in the center, knees go out wide on the mat. Sink the hips back, breath in. Exhale, walk your hands forward into a plank position. You'll be on the inside of the knees here, push to the palms, fill up the space behind the shoulder blades, tuck the chin, long back of the neck. This is a rehab posture that mimics a developing baby. As they're growing and strengthening, they are able to do these positions because of their stabilized core and breathing apparatus. Stay strong through your body, loose through the neck, look side to side. Retract the ears, so push the back of the head towards the ceiling and then look up forward. Inhale, release, protrude the jaw and the head. Exhale, retract, retract, retract. Straightening to the tops of the toes, tuck the toes, straighten the legs, lift the hips so they're in line with the shoulders. 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop the knees down. Bring the hands back a little bit closer to you. Shoot the thumbs forward, straight arms. Drop heels to hips to heels. Straightening the arms so they're activated. Breathe wide through the chest. Bring the hands up underneath the shoulders. Knees are going to be back a little bit further than your hips this time. As you inhale, come forward. Exhale, press up on the tops of the feet to hover the knees. And really that is the low back pushing towards the ceiling. Big breath in. Exhale, fall. Inhale, hover and press. Exhale, fall. One more. Inhale, hover and press. As you exhale, right knee opens to the side. Inhale, back to neutral. Exhale, switch, left knee. Inhale, back to neutral. Exhale, release. Drop the hands back, thumbs come forward, sinking into this posture. Palms face down, traction all the way up as your left leg shoots out to the side. Tuck the right toes, sitting back on the heels for just a moment, zipping up the front body, roll the shoulder blades back. Big, strong arm resistance here. So imagine you're holding something that's magnetic and pulling you back to center. Slowly pull this out to the side. Exhale, close. Feel a little bit more compression. Now we're going to match with the hips. So inhale, open and rise. Exhale, close and sink. Hip hinging deeply. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. You can get a little artistic with this. Heavy hip hinge, arms go forward. Come up onto the left heel, flex the toes. Bring the hands to center. Open to Skandasana. A little bit of a weird transition into Skandasana, but heel's gonna come down on the right, sinking deeply into this pose. Strong front body. Push your elbow into the inner knee. Left hand comes down. Roll the inner foot so you're pushing on the ball of the toe. Twist open. A little bit of an exaggerated oblique twist. Both hands are going to tent towards an oblique angle away from your right hand, your right foot, excuse me. Press the hips back away. Walk your hands a little bit more center to your sternum. Leave your right hand where it is, left hand goes out wide, sinking into the inner thigh and the left leg. Bring yourself all the way back to center. Bring the legs together and just sit as you shake out the excess. And excess to me It will be different to everybody, but you can just feel that you're releasing and hyping up throughout poses. We're using movement to translate and transmute that energy back into our surrounding environment. Once more, returning to our core activation system. Fingers face forward. Knees are going to be right just a little bit past underneath the hips. As you inhale, push up, hover the knees, press the low back. Exhale, drop. Inhale, push. Exhale, release. Inhale, push. And you're not caving in with the belly. Once more, as you inhale, tuck the toes this time. Inhale, hover the low back. Exhale, right knee opens. Inhale, neutral. Exhale, left knee. Inhale, neutral. Exhale, drop the knees down. Right leg shoots out to the side. Outside of the foot is parallel to your mat. Sitting all the way back, coming up real high. Inhaling the front body up to a high sit. Make sure you're feeling comfortable through this angle. Hands are strong, coming in front of you. Kind of feel a little bit of this heat. Slowly release the heat. See if you can feel a magnetism, almost like there's something pressing back against you. Pulling that out, challenging a new level. We're going to follow with the hips. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Inhale, open. Exhale, get lost with it. Lean forward, airplane arms back behind you, heavy front torso. Drop your hands to the inside of your knee, left hand down, twist your right arm open, big twist towards your foot. Come up to the heel, push your leg a little bit further away because we're going to need that foundation. Skandasana on the left side now. So left foot comes down, maneuver as necessary. Outside of your left arm is going to push into the left leg so you can twist open and away, or staying very tall. Lean forward with your hands, release, come all the way back to center. Getting off the knees for a little bit, hands come forward. Slowly releasing the hips. Very strong through the hands here. Shouldn't have a lot of glute activation or low back activation. We're collapsing and surrendering. 1 millimeter at a time. Down to the mat. Elbows are shooting backwards, still using a lot of tricep. There's a negative chaturanga here. Hands come forward a little bit higher, tops of the feet. Thighs touch in the inside. Tops of the feet are going to push into the mat. Inhale, rise. Exhale, lower. Hands come a little closer to you. Inhale, rise. Exhale, close. Inhale once more. Exhale, fall. Tuck the toes underneath. Press all the way up to plank pose. In plank, switch to side plank. Right hand down. Inhale, left arm flies. Exhale, neutral. Inhale, rotate, right arm flies. Exhale, one breath, movement. One more time, both sides. This time, inhale, plank to the left. Staying here for a few breaths. Maybe hover the top foot. Expressing yourself as necessary. Neutral plank, switch sides. Inhale, right arm up. Stacked outside of the feet, can stay there. You can touch forward, hovering the leg potentially. Neutral plank. Chaturanga. Flip, upward facing dog. Exhale, look over the shoulder. Inhale, neutral. Exhale, left shoulder. Inhale, neutral. Exhale, push up high, tall, top of the foot plank. And flip the feet, down dog. Get rid of the excess. Bend the knees, pump the knees. Look forward, inhale high on the feet. We're gonna take a few hops. Keep going, just little Shakti kicks. Downward facing dog. Slowly walk your feet all the way to the front. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift. Left hand down, fold. Right arm twist open. Bend your left knee. Rotate the top hand. Switch sides. Right hand down, left arm. Bend your right knee. Twist the top upper hand. Fold. Inhale where you are. Halfway lift. Stay here for a few breaths. Tenting the feet. First toe, fifth toe, heel. Suctioning and tenting up to activate all three sides of your legs. Already that's making my body release to the hamstring, allowing the back body to open, asking me to challenge myself to bend deeper than I normally would while teaching a class. This is a personal practice, and we're getting used to norms based off of everybody else's practice and not really practicing for our own progress. Tractioning outward, away from midline. Breath in, halfway lift. Exhale, deeper fold. Inhale, traction out. Exhale, fold. 3, 2, 1. Bend the knees, inhale, chair pose. Woo! Add a little bounce. Add a little play. Play with the hips. Releasing the tension through the low back. Inhale, chair. Exhale, extended mountain. Palms face forward, close the eyes down. Gain a little bit of clarity, a little bit of balance. Shake out the excess. In the theme of wanting to break a plateau, we will use a few poses in flight. Good solid foundation through the left foot, that tenting mechanism to activate my stance leg. Hands at the hips, raise your right knee to 90 degrees and bring it closer to your torso. Flexing the toes, tall shoulders. You're not sucking into the belly. If anything, you're bringing the shoulder blades in towards the spine and imagining someone trying to pull your heel away and you're resisting them. Don't let them pull your heel straight. Straightening the leg, making a bind with your left toes, or your left fingers to your right toe. Twist the right arm open behind you. Bending that knee, figure 4 chair, sitting back deeply through the hips. Make sure you're sitting behind the knee. Shooting the arms forward, breath in. Exhale, airplane arms. Inhale, forward. Exhale, airplane arms. Maybe a little flight. Inhale. Exhale, fly. Inhale, come all the way up, bring your knee to chest. Exhale, dancer's pose. Right leg comes behind, bend your stance knee, shoot the arm forward, then straighten the leg. Drop this foot back all the way to warrior two. In your warrior two, deep lunge, front knee facing forward, back foot, heels are about in line, arms are coming forward. We're just gonna flow a little bit through this. I'm all poised and robotic in my classes, so personally I try to let loose a little bit. Left arm compressing the knee, big circles through the front. Almost as if you were pulling a lawnmower. Imagine there's resistance there. Reverse your warrior. Rotate the top hand. Skandasana again, so leaning deeply over to the right foot. This time pushing your right elbow in, right hand comes down, left arm rises up. If you don't feel like you can put your heel down, maybe evaluate your position. I'm gonna bring the heel a little closer, and then it allows this hip to sit back enough to rotate my heel down. Hands come forward, and then trying to bring the torso up high. Slowly rotating back, go through a vinyasa. I'm gonna do that again. Don't practice this much in class. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, chair pose. Inhale, standing mountain. Exhale, hands to heart. Release the hands, shake out any excess. Opposite side, lifting your left knee to chest. Make sure your right foot has that tenting foundation. Knee is up at 90. Pull the knee back in an inch closer to your core. Make sure you're not sucking in to do that. You should still be able to fill up the front pant line. Make sure your left hip's a little bit lower. And then imagine resisting someone trying to straighten your heel. Right fingers are going to make a bind with the left big toe. Kick the leg forward as you twist open. Left arm comes back. Bend that knee, figure four chair pose. Sinking the hips back nice and low. Inhale, bring the arms forward. Exhale, airplane. Inhale, forward. Exhale, airplane. Inhale. Maybe a little flight. Harder on the side. Inhale. Exhale. Bring the knee all the way back up to 90, breath in. Exhale, dancer's pose. Grabbing the inside of the foot, bending your stance leg. Press the arm forward and then evenly kicking into your hand as your stance leg straightens. Slowly controlled, releasing that to warrior two. Back foot parallels to the back of the mat. Arms open. Dropping the first arm, side angle pose, big round circles on the side. Extended side angle. Kind of workshop your arm all the way down, pushing the outside of the tricep. Reverse the warrior. Stay low to the front knee. Bend the back leg, Skandasana on our opposite side. Remember, if you're feeling a position where you can't try to put this heel down, or that feels unstable for your ankle, maybe bring the foot closer, or away from you, or closer to your body. Once you're there, outside of the left tricep is going to push into the knee, twist and open. Maybe even adding a bind, a wrap around. Slow, low, coming back around, go through a vinyasa. In our vinyasa, we're going to go through a few scissor kicks. So if you have any handstand practice, or if you're working towards that like I am, we're gonna practice a little bit of strengthening. So a scissor kick is if you start with a three-legged dog, your right leg's gonna kick up first. It's gonna be the first leg to come back down. So look forward. Strength has to be in each fingertip, using the top leg as momentum, switching in the air, switching sides. Trying to get your hips over your shoulders. Walking back to a high plank. Catch your breath. Side plank. Left arm rises up. Big bind through the toe. Kicking up into the air. Look forward. Bringing that foot all the way around as we drop into a low runner's lunge. Zip the chest up. Either going down into lizard pose or reverse, working on a bind with the back foot. We're going to be here for 10 breaths. When you found your boundary here, kick into the hand to contract the quad for 5, 4, 3, 2, release the contraction so you can get a little bit more depth. Release your bind slowly as you're already prepared for splits. So if you are not into full splits, have your blocks available for you. Practice half splits or workshop staying tall in your split. It has been a minute since I've done a split. So I'm going to stay tall, not push it. Sucking your front heel back into your body so your right hip, your back hip, is going to come closer square to the front. Pushing down with my back knee to lift up for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax, maybe maneuver, get a little bit more space. Pulling the hips midline, squeezing up and in for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Add a little flow wherever you're at today. Dropping that back knee open. Bending your heel a little bit closer to you for this pike position. Turning the torso towards your bent knee. Zip up the front body. We're going to extend the front arm forward and then come right off of it. Forward, come right off of it. Once more. Outside of the arm is going to push on the inside of the calf. Upper body is going to twist open as if I'm pulling the rib cage around. Use your stance knee to push down, and that will help propel you forward. Depending on your hip angle, you may need to open more so or less. Rotate your whole torso back in line with the leg. You may need to close the leg a little bit. Pull the whole stance leg back toward your pelvis. Use the muscles to squeeze it back in line and then falling. Calmly, slowly releasing out of that posture. Bring both legs underneath of you. High plank. Opposite side. Left hand stays down. Right arm opens into your high plank, making a bind with your big toe. Extending. Bend through the top knee. Pull that foot all the way up into prepared for a lizard stance, you can drop the back knee. When you bend the knee, you should be above the kneecap, so it shouldn't hurt to put pressure on the femur, not the kneecap. If you need blocks for the side, bring blocks to the inside of your foot, walking down to either lizard pose or working on the reverse bind. Just like when we're standing, we try to even out and square the hips. Traditionally, this side, the right hip, so whatever foot is forward, needs to suck back in space, as your bent knee, your stance knee, needs to suck forward towards the mat. Kick into your hand for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Maybe get a little bit more space. Find your new barrier, kick in for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, release. Find your full expression for today. Slowly lower. Walk yourself back up to your hands. We're working into split on this other side. If splits aren't in the picture for you today, you can work on a half split, adding some nice shoulder motions. I'm going to work into full split. My version of full split today, it's not always the same, depending on what other exercises I've been doing, if I've been taking the time to practice, depending on what part of the month and your cycle you're in. The stronger I am, the better I am at splits. So that's not just me, that's how the body works. When your midline is very stable, your extremities can be very flexible. So working like on some weighted squats, deadlifts, sleds, pushing a sled at the gym will all help stabilize the midline to give you safe range of motion for a split. Squeezing the legs, pulling them back towards me, up and in for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Is there such a thing as relaxing? Add a little flow to this, just to trick the brain, trick the mind. You're going to lean over to the right hip, bend your back knee for opposite pike, head to knee pose. Not to turn away from you, but you're going to turn your torso towards your bent knee. Use the inside of the leg as something for the outside of your arm to press into. Leaning down, upper arm's going to twist towards the sky. Now you can see from behind actually, the rib cage is going to rotate towards the front of your body. And that rotation is actually going to help you lean further towards your toes. If you didn't rotate, it's a different movement. So we're rotating, allowing this side of the body to open. Still putting pressure down into the leg, pushing into the mat, and using the inside of this stance knee to propel me forward. Rotate your whole body now in line with the leg. Bring the entire leg, squeeze the leg back towards you. Use the muscles to bring it closer towards you, and that will help your torso fall forward. Still using anything we can on that left knee to help push. Close the eyes down, 3 breaths. Slowly rolling up, bending the knees back underneath of you. Belly's going to be down on the ground, starting to cool down from class. Some restorative low back movements. Legs are together, tops of the feet are down on the mat. As you do this, your hips are going to stay on the mat, your arms are going to straighten. You shouldn't have to compress the low back to do this. If that is the case, don't go up that high, don't forget the feet, and move your hands. The closer your hands are towards your hips, the higher you'll bend. So now I'm bending near my sacrum. Whereas if you had an injury there and didn't want to put pressure, you would bring your hands away from your feet And now when I straighten my arms, the fulcrum is higher. I'm a little bit more in the upper lumbar spine, even more so the lower T-spine, the thoracic spine. So you find your safe angle. We're going to do about 5 of these press-ups. Teaching each part of the spine to share movement. And bending. Knees go wide, palms of feet come together, press back, child's pose. Add some love and some decompression into the spine. Left hand shoots forward, right hand comes around, half bind, maybe grabbing the left upper thigh. Use your left palm to actually traction you backward. And switching sides. Bring both hands forward, palms face together. Prayer hands, drop on the elbows, bring yourself back. If you have any type of inversion in your practice and you're super warmed up, super prepared to practice that now, now's the time. If you're doing this in your house, make sure there's nothing that you could flip over onto. We definitely get hurt the most when we freak out falling out of poses because you think you're going to hit something. So I prefer a blank wall just where it can help support you if you need it. Either a tripod headstand, dolphin pose. Take a little time to challenge yourself. Now that we have a lot of energy shifting through the body, you should feel a little bit more buoyant and light. Feel free to stop the video whenever. Keep working on your poses and give yourself a little bit of a cool down, surrender of efforts portion, that Shavasana. So thank you so much for breaking this plateau with me. There are certainly positions where I was very uncomfortable, but I know that that's one step towards progress. If you've never heard this before, they say that a vinyasa, a flowing style of yoga, is the best way to get you back to your baseline. Meaning every day we fluctuate. We're progressing or we're below our baseline. So vinyasa is a great practice to kind of get you back to the best that you've previously gotten to, meaning the most flexible, the most strong, the most stable. But it's other types of yoga that is going to push you past and raise that bar of your baseline. So if you're only ever taking the same style of class, mix it up and trust that it's an upward progression. Yoga and life, it's an ascending journey, so don't stay in your comfort zone, break that plateau. Have a great day.